If you just stumble across the channel, it's probably because somebody hit that like button before. And for those of you who hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much.
You like what you see, then please subscribe early. And if you like what we do, then smash that like button too. And if you like to check it out, leave a comment down below. I like radar crypto. I like radar crypto. I like radar crypto. Radar.
I wait for someone to save. I wanna tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. I wish you all the best I can, and I stop myself for a while. I'm saying things I don't believe. The panic's rising up in you. Why won't you tell me something new? Don't you think you want to be for the best? We fight back 5 million sooner than this. Don't you think you want to be for the best? We fight back 5 million sooner than this. Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I want to feel your gap without making a mess at you. Why won't you tell me something new? I want to tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. Don't you think you want to be for the best? Don't you think you want to be for the best? We fight back 5 million sooner than this. Don't you wish I would have been someone else? I want to feel your gap without making a mess at you. Why won't you tell me something new? Wish you all the best I can, then I stop myself for a while.
Damn, feeling lucky. Out above most streets, us two in these streets. Diamonds on my feet, caught up in these talks. Circling my head top, should've been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many I've been here before, made it out of 11 more. Like my phone cortex, so I can't stop. I want it all. Listen up, I'm calling you. I need you to tell the truth. Remember when you wanted to. Remember that I said what you.
Hi, Julie. Glad to have you here tonight.
Hey, Julie, how you doing?
That wasn't really very smooth, Sean.
Well, not everybody thinks they sound like Batman. Julie. Thank you, Sean. Welcome, Julie. Glad to have you here. And Happy New Year. Sounds like you got a frog in your throat, bro.
Then you come to the bed and you love feel dirty. Everybody sweater drops, you're real keen. Bring let me get your juiciest piece. Can't remember when I had the same please. The shops of the club never had no boundary. How's it gonna be? Wanna eat these centipedes? What we gonna go? You're gonna eat these calories. Giving me a treat to refill these batteries. Then you only them on your knees. There's no way to dream. Ooh, it's sneaking up on you. There's nothing you can do. There's things about the boo. Ooh, it's sneaking up on you. There's nothing you can do. There's things about the boo.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to talk some turkey?
For those of you out there that didn't like us, I just want to say thank you very much.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve. It is 10:34 p.m. where I am in the eastern part of the United States of America. Formerly the United Socialist States of America, but we are making some progress now, it appears. Hopefully. 20 days till maybe there's a little something different going on. Can't got your tongue? Turkey. Everyone, I'm so glad to have you here. It's holiday season. We've got 14 beautiful people hanging out with me. Let's say hello to everybody and get the show up, popping off. 2025. We got Chris Klein being here first. How's it going, Chris? Glad to have you here. Make sure my mic is on and everything. Looks like we got everything going here. We got Floki's Angels being secondsy. Dave P, how's it going, my man? Board PC guy. Roguelite. We got Sub that's here. How's it going, Sub? Glad to have you here. And where was it? Where'd I miss it? Random Trader, great to be here. Julie's here with me. Say hi to Julie. Hi, Julie. Glad to meet you. I'm just a turkey on the internet. We seem to favor the turkey because my real face kind of freaks people out. You want to see it? You ready? It's kind of freaky. All right. Yeah. So people gotta like the turkey a little bit better. I guess this one's just kind of wow. Of course, we do have one for the ladies. You the one. But it seems to be the turkey. So, the Echelon Show, how's it going, my man? Hey, buddy, what do you honestly think of the price of Solana would be within the next couple of hours? Oh, we'll take a look at that. Solana. Got my old trusty notepad right here. And now we got Solana written down on there. Is that my band in the beginning? That is me alone in the beginning. That is me being silly. I've got a couple of them like that. There's Joe from Trade Intuition, fellow YouTuber. Shout out to Joe. Also teaching the good news of Crypto TA. Showing that there's a better way than flags to the upside. We got Ryan K, Dave P. How's it going? Everybody, Tommy, 2 liters. Let's talk turkey. I think we should do it. Oh my goodness, Rogue Glide, the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How about it? OM Mantra. That is one of my plays right there. Thank you so much for the super chat. OM Mana, that one moves to the top of the list. He's got an alien and a super chat. I'm sorry. Can you beat that? Sorry, not. We got Glittery Marshmallow 1981 saying 2025. We survived. I got a couple hours left, but yeah, so far it looks good. World War III did not happen. We got 20 days to avoid it. Oh, please, Jesus, help us get through this, because I don't know what is going on, but there's still some activity going on. It's kind of nefarious. I guess you guys know that our U.S. Treasury got hacked there. Wonder if it got anything to do with these Chinese drones flying around us and Chinese weather balloons, and I don't know what kind of deal we got with China, but there's one somewhere on the darker side of the state. In my personal opinion, I just have an opinion, just like my butthole. Which, as a turkey, do I have one or now? There's a hole up here too, and the hole right beneath my breastises and my neck hole. Tommy 2 Liter says, ring that cowbell, road dog. For you, Tommy, my man. Nothing like a little cowbell. If your life is not going the way you want, if you're not just feeling happy, if these holiday seasons are just about over and life can start getting a little bit back to normal, hopefully there is a normal to go back to, you might just need a little bit more cowbell in your life. If you're feeling down, you're not feeling happy, world's not working out the way that you think it should, you need Jesus and you need a little cowbell. Jesus will probably help you a little bit more than cowbell, though, just to throw it out there. But thank you so much for that super chat. The chart reading. I can't. The crypto predicting jive turkey. YouTube, you got to get this little box out of my way when I click on the things to bring it up or whatever. And you got to get this box out of my way. Trump bump in 20 days? I hope so. I think it's going to be shaky. I mean, but overall, good. And I think the market is really leaning that way. I know a lot of people are not going to like this. I think more people are leaning over this way. I mean, Trump's first term, I mean, he had severe opposition the whole time. He did. And I know it was a bumpy ride. It was a weird ride, especially when COVID came in. And I know. And sometimes, you know, he be vocal, man. He says what he thinks, right? We got a dose of him. But there was a lot of maturity that came over there, and a lot of, you know, he took a lot on the chin there. And he had some forces against him there, but this time he's like come back. He's like Rambo, and I'm just going to say, man, he's put together a think tank, a dream. He's doing this like, my gosh, I think he's going to set a precedent for what a president should be, and we need that because we got away from the George Washingtons and the early founders and all of them. The Abraham Lincolns, the ones that were really doing some really great things and putting themselves out there. And this is the first one to come along in a long time. And I like that first one since JFK that's just trying to do something with straighten out this money stuff that's going on, deep state bullshit that's going on in our country. We got away from our Constitution. We're not a political show here, but somehow we got onto this. But anyway, but the thing I was going to say that a lot of people I don't think are going to like this is I think he will set precedent for being a president in America, and a lot of people want to have to stand up to what he's going to do. And I do have a lot of the country does have a lot of hope that we got hope that we can take back our country and it not be that sellout to the globalists that keep trying to force this ESG and DEI, which are failing, by the way, officially failing now. All these agendas that we tied into for whoever the globalists are and whatever, there's an agenda there. There clearly is. We need to get away from that. This is our chance to do that. I think he'll go down as one of the greatest presidents in history. That's my prediction for President Trump. I know, and some people are saying, that asshole, I can't see it. And I know everybody's got a little asshole side, but I don't know. He seems to be more presidential now than I've ever seen anyone be presidential that I can remember since Ronald Reagan. I said it. Oh my God. Everybody clicked off. My gosh. Hey, let's get on with the show. Jedi Flip-Flops, Happy New Year, fam. Happy New Year. Jedi, Happy New Year, everybody. There's Dave Forget, best turkey on YouTube. Well, that is correct. I'm the most handsome turkey on YouTube doing crypto, and I am vain about it. I'm a vain turkey about that. Helps the algorithm, I'm told. Good day. Hey, how's it going, MG Motorsports? How's it going? Jedi Flip-Flop says, quick 75, 85K, then Lambo. I mean, there's a case to be argued for that. There is. Will it happen though? Well, that's the question. Got to be ready for it, but there's a part of me that thinks it won't happen. I mean, I just lean toward that way. But if it happens and I'm wrong, that does happen. Well, I'm ready to buy it up. Just buy it cheaper. A lot of people are swinging that way, and it kind of makes me think that that's even more reason for it not to happen. It's on the table. It is on the cards. It is a scenario that can happen. So no one is wrong in thinking that it can't. Echelon Show said, hey, we need to go over Solana. Could you provide an analysis that ranges from the next couple of hours to days? Sure. Well, I usually do. My TA stay good for a long time. We look at bigger time frames a lot of the times. I'll make a note of that. Wondering a little between topics and charting keeps it interesting, in my opinion. Well, I definitely see squirrels and wander away. Oh, we're doing a show right now. So right behind me, we got the top 100 here for the daily. And so it looks better than what it did yesterday. Phantom's looking a little sickly there. I think we need to take a look at Phantom. She's feeling a little under the weather there, meaning, hey, she might be at a good buy price. Virtual's doing pretty good. Pingu doing well. Peppy taking a little bit of a bump up. Whip hanging around 186. Filecoin under $5. Got to work on that. OM at 385. That's pretty decent for OM. We'll be taking a look at OM there. Let's take a look, if you don't mind. Let me show Tangem Wallet. Can I show you my code now, or are you still doing that fabulous 15% off? They're still doing their Black Friday. Okay, well, that's the best deal for real. Black Friday 15, as long as they got that, you get 15% off. All I can do is DAWG, save 10% off. You need that 15, go get that 15, baby. I ain't gonna hate you for it. All right, so Bitcoin, and we're kind of on this trend line for a while here. Seems to be holding. I like that. It's holding, and it seems like it wants to hold. And I'm on the 6-minute time frame. We started on a small time frame just to see. This is where we were leaving off last night. Is that, or I think we were. Yeah, we were somewhere down in these areas looking for it to hopefully come back up here and revisit. She took a big dumpy do and then came back up. She did some wild. Was this last night or night before? Yeah, this should have been last night. So what I think is interesting is this channel idea, and all it is taking this channel. We just took this angle, lowered it down, and found this other new channel, which we apparently broke out of. But what I think is so interesting is that when you just extend that out, that's exactly what we bumped up to and reversed from. It's also a fib area. I put it over in the trading community, that chart. But I also wanted to show this. This is the power of trend lines. They do go on, and if you track them, and they will help you figure out where the resistance points would be. That maybe somebody else that doesn't do this, maybe they're too busy looking for a flag to the upside, they don't see that there's resistance over there. And this is some insights that I like to share. Right now, here's that trend line that we were seeing on the other time frame. Rather than draw it, I'm feeling lazy. I'm just going to come over here. We'll watch this one over here. Are we going to bounce here, recover it? Well, it's kind of too early to tell. Why don't we zoom out? This is our year in candle. Can we get a 12-month? Can we get a chart that will let me see our 12-month candles here? Good Lord, I'm looking over here at MBT1. Is that that's the futures, micro Bitcoin futures? They're not open yet. Still got it at 94.10. I guess we got a gap, a holiday gap. I would say this is pretty good for a nice little candle. Let's come over to the Christmas tree candle so we can really appreciate it. See, we got over this little area, 46,000. That's kind of where we topped out the last 4 years on the candle bodies. Of course, then we got our all-time higher wicks over here, right at 69. But June 21st and the 22nd and all that. And here we flip the script right here, 42, 41 and a half thousand. But this is a great candle for a year. That's a good year. We flipped it, baby. We flipped it. Well, flipped it. Can we draw anything? And it looks like we got a breakout of candle bodies. Not much we can see here other than we're just clearing some levels. Things look good. It's a strong move. It's a strong move. We could use a little bit more volume to come in here, I would say. Here we start our brand new year. You can't even see it because all the crap. We start our brand new year right here on top, and our brand new year hopefully will not come down any further, although it can. We are looking, even some of you guys seeing the possibility of $70,000, $80,000. Might we come down and make this a wick? Or can we just keep on going straight up? I vote for straight up. Straight up, and I'll tell you if you love me. All right, so from the year, let's come down and see how our month is doing, because we're closing the month right now too, tonight. on the old Christmas tree candles, and we're holding tight. This looks suspect. I will give that to you. A candle with a big ass wick on top of it. Just looks like a lot of sell pressure right there is what made that wick. So you could preemptively look at that as a topping candle or a reversal style candle, depending on how these other candles start playing out. But if this one's leveling out here and we're not taking a big old red candle down or even halfway down, that would be a nice thing to see right here. My indicators are looking very healthy. My Ichimoku cloud looks healthy. Money flow looks healthy on the monthly. Stochastics are kind of parked up here around 86%. They got a lot to go to. They got plenty of room to get buried up here at 100% if we want to go bullish. Next dot to print, since we got a green one here on the wave. I keep wanting to say wave table, but the momentum wave here could print a red one. Not saying it's doing it yet, not doing it anytime soon. It could. It can go red light, green light, and all that stuff, but it doesn't have to. As long as money flows in the green, we're good. We don't have a negative crossing of this VWAP. I mean, we got good things going on the monthly. Monthly's good. We start coming to the 2 week, and then that's where we get a little stuff, because we did print that little sell signal, that little red dot warning signal, I guess is how I would interpret it. But I do want to point out that money flow is still good, and this actually still seems to be rising, maybe leveling up. It still seems to be on an uptrend. Stochastics also leveling off here on the 2 week. Might see them just take another leg up. It's a possibility. Do I have something here? We might have something there. It's hard to tell on this is Stochastics RSI rather than use that indicator by itself, which, because I just don't have room for it, I use it here on Market Cipher. It's a little bit hard for me to draw on it this way. We might have some possible support ideas right there. It's this weekly MACD that I think that's probably worth paying some attention to. She's throwing hints of being a little bearish, and this is normally this really, if you ever see this happen on weekly MACD, you need to stop and look at where am I at this point in the market, because this is preemptive sign. This is what it's going to look like before the bear market hits. It will. I do not believe that this is the bear market. I believe that we will recover from this. But it's that same mentality that will get you caught up and missing your chance to get out in the bear market. I'm just saying, we got to get a couple of signals that are going to tell us that. And my 9 moving average does very well, especially on the weekly. MACD is the first front runners I want to see. You think we lost the 9 moving average on the weekly? Well, oh gosh darn it! I mean, I cannot. If you take that as a sell signal, then I can't preach bad at you. I think it's too early, though. I do think it's too early, but that falls within my teachable system. Other than it being 6 months after the halving, when this stuff just does not make sense according to Bitcoin. And the Ichimoku cloud is nowhere near swallowing us up. In fact, the Ichimoku cloud over here is saying, cheering us on like a nice little cheerleader. Saying Bitcoin can't do it, nobody can, and I believe that. We got this random trend line here. What is going on with you? So Bitcoin, I mean, we're just having to see how we react. Will things start happening this next week? We are under an area of resistance. It is on the table that we could come down. You can see that. The first argument would be that I would make as a pattern trader is that we got to break out of this channel. Some people see it as a flat. It doesn't matter. We got to break out of this trend line here. There is a good chance, somewhere about 6 out of 10 times, or the 60%, somewhere in the 60% chance percentile that we would come down and retest. Usually the breakout area. It could get held up at any of these little top areas that we got along the way, starting at 73. But just as a pattern trader, that's just the rules of the game that we keep in mind. Doesn't have to. They don't always do that, but it can. As a trend line aficionado, well, I've got to draw a trend line. That does give us a little, area that we could break, and it leans a little bit more to those top areas if we were to do that. Let me get rid of this inverted head and shoulders we got here. Again, Happy New Year's to everybody. 2025 will be a year that you should see your life change and your finances really, really take a turn for the better. If you don't get caught up in all the silliness that can happen also in this market, which will just leave you on the other side of that equation, which is liquidated, busted, or broke. So we try not to make any stupid mistakes here. It's not my first rodeo, but it doesn't mean I'm going to do it perfect, and I am not carrying it out perfect. I always look back and see I should have took more profits. And as we're starting to come down, I guess we probably feel that way. It's easy to feel that way. And I look at how much my account is down to how much of the profits I actually pulled out. I'm like, I could have done better. Probably could have done better. 107,000, and we're here 93.5. So, as a Fibonacci fool, I like to go from swing low to swing high. Tell me where I need to buy. I would love to see this 236 area hold. The only hope that I have that it might hold, the only reason I'm sitting here being as bullish as I am that it could hold, is because, well, 4 years ago, these areas were holding. I was like, oh, it's not going to, but it did. And it turned into what felt like up only, when price just kind of, it just kept going. It might stop for a minute and then it'd go again, and it just keeps going and going. Kind of what we felt with our altcoins a few weeks ago. You know how they went up and you're like, oh my God, this crypto works, honey. We need to call the Lambo distributor and start getting some brochures, honey. I'm just telling you right now. Get some, we got to pick out our colors. And of course now, that's a little, especially with altcoins, it's a little bit of a different story, right? And a lot of those altcoins even gave up their gains a third or fourth time. Our Fibonacci here, getting back to it, corresponding with this trend line, this beautiful 618 area, corresponding with the top of this area too, just seems like a really nice target that we could hit, and Fibonacci's often do hit. That's why I use them, because, well, they won me over. I will not argue against the Fibonacci. Now, they don't always get it 100% right. You'll find a lot of times when they don't get it right, the problem might have been you and how you calculated it. I'm just saying, throwing that out. I've found that to be more true than not. I found them to be more right than me being right. So, all I gotta say is some people don't like pattern trading. And I'm saying if you tried it and you're like, that didn't work out for me, it might have been how it was taught to you. You might have been taught to apply it wrong and got bad results. I mean, there's a lot of things being taught out here that kind of go against the rules for the best results. I've noticed that a lot. But thank goodness, we got some traditional pattern traders out here on YouTube that do know. Mitch Ray being one of them, he knows. He also tries to get those traditional TA values out there, so shout out to Mitch Ray. So here we are on the daily for Bitcoin, and she does look like she's losing. She's under our little fib line right here. Closing candles below it. It does, and in that cloud, it does look like she wants to drop. Looks like she wants to drop. Is she going to drop? Well, I got to say, the more candle bodies that we get actually opening and closing underneath this trend line and underneath these moving averages and inside this cloud, the more likely she is to start making bigger candles that are a little bit more droopier. The level we got to breach now is 90,700. That's this last little wick we got down here. So, I mean, if you're looking for the last point of no return where we might bounce somewhere through here. A lot of people are playing this as a range. And I'm going to tell you, it's tricky. I can fully expect them to fake us out here. So I'm not giving in to it's on the table for a bigger drop, but I'm watching very closely here because I know they can just pull it right back up over the next few days. So here we are going on January 1st. The Fed stuff and all that good stuff will be coming out. And then, of course, we got Trump here in the United States, which does have an effect on global and world markets. Seeing what goes on there, and then whatever he does, because that first day is going to be crazy. We don't know what he's going to sign. there's going to be some, wow. Daddy's home. Okay. Daddy's home. And some of y'all deep state people going to get in trouble. I'm just saying, shame on you. some of you definitely things will be exposed, and I think that's going to be interesting. You can see that coming. I think we might even find some truths that have been hidden from us and classified for many, many years, and we'll finally get some answers to. And then we might be saying, yeah, we were right not to trust them bastards all along. Is what I'm afraid will be revealed here. 80,000 also being a nice little target. That's close to a 50% area, and that's a drawdown to about 78.5. Looking at some other lines I've got here. So, I mean, we can get that drop. Will we get it? I don't know. I mean, we're showing the first stages. I mean, these were top areas. That makes perfect sense. We've lost some major areas, and we could. But then again, every 4 years about this time, then they always want us to think something just like that. Well, I remember calls back to $3,000 about this time 4 years ago, and they were adamant it was over. A very well respected analyst here on YouTube that I was learning from, and he was a bear all the way up to 60,000 and beyond. Probably still is right now. I don't know. That 9 moving average is curving above this Fibonacci level. She could be tricking us out. I'm just saying, she could bounce back and trick us out. I'm not sold that we're dropping just yet. I'm hardcore going to just say that finally, Dirt Dog just won't give into it. He won't give into it. Everybody else called it. I mean, I know there's bearish divergence and all that, but you know, I just want to remind you. They were all calling that same bull stuff. Right back about this time. Here, where are we 4 years ago? 4 years ago, we were actually doing a lot better than we are now. We were still on the uptrend. And yeah, but all through these areas, man, that's when they were saying, it's over. This is it. This is it. This is it. We're extended. We went past our levels. We broke through all of our levels. We're coming back. It's down. That's what we got. There was a lot of that. Especially on red candle days. Now on green days, everybody's bullish. Oh, we're going to 100,000. But on red days, it's like we're going back to 3,000 or 10,000 or both. I think 9,000 was the popular go-to then. Let's take a look and let's start getting into what's going on. Now we got total 3 over here, also at a little precipice. This little trend line here. I guess I put it below the candle bodies. Are you cheating? I'll put it below my candle bodies, make it more effective here. Below this red body right here, and that still gets us in here. But she's flirting with trying to break through here. Now she has been known to wick through here and recover and stay that way and keep us afloat, because this one could also be faking out and we get a nice little bounce here. I bet if we come on a smaller time frame, we might see a double bottom type pattern forming here along this trend line. On total 3 represents your altcoins, my altcoins, all the ones in our bag. They're kind of suffering right now because, well, she's been taking a beating, but she had a nice run. That run was cool, wasn't it? What goes up comes down. She leveling out. I like it. Let's come down to the 4 hour. I saw that green cloud. Did you see that green cloud on the daily? Kind of like what Bitcoin is. She could be sucking us into it, but there's one thing I want to point out about this cloud, and Bitcoin had it too. Do you see how it's leaning up over here and how it's getting kind of skinny? We like it when it gets skinny. It's when she gets thick that she wants to suck us in. When she starts getting skinny over here and leaning up, we might ricochet off of this one. There's no promises, no guarantees. This is our Hail Mary, pray to Jesus moment, because it needs to happen now if it's going to happen. But we're set up where we can do it. I know, we're below the 50 moving average, below the non-moving average. It doesn't look very healthy at all. I would hate to get sucked into this cloud and dragged down here. It could happen. We don't need it to happen, but it could. What gets wicked often gets candlesticks, and that's the saying, and that could happen. It would suck again. It would feel a lot like the altcoin season we had in the summer. Like, oh my God, we're going to go through this bull crap again. Jesus, no. Why am I in crypto? But we are leveling out. What we look for in any kind of falling channel is a partial decline, and these are the first signs that we may be working on it. So let's see, At this point, we need to be cautiously optimistic, because if you get bearish right now, it will bite you in the ass. Every 4 years that happens. It happened to me back in 2013, 2014. Yeah. I remember selling all my Bitcoin for about $400. Yeah. I think I remember even selling some around $250. And I do not feel like a dumbass. And we're talking about whole Bitcoins. Like, if I had those Bitcoins now, woulda, coulda, shoulda, shoot, baby. We'd be broadcasting from an island. But alas, no, I did not have the conviction for Bitcoin, and I got as many Bitcoin as I deserved. Which was none for a long time. But what I got now, far fewer than what I had back then, but gosh darn it, I'm a lot smarter now, and I sure as hell ain't letting them go like I did back then. My trade was, I traded 42 coin against Litecoin and came out with 100 Litecoin, which at the time was 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Traded and then swapped 100 Litecoin for 10 Bitcoin. If I had 10 Bitcoin now, dang, Daddy be happy. Question is, would you have held it through all the time? Would you have it? You don't know what you'll do in those years, how you'll play things long term. I didn't. So Bitcoin dominance still being strong and hanging out sideways, that's hurting our altcoins right there. It's not helping our altcoins. We need Bitcoin dominance to fall. Guys, let's start looking at some coins here. I'm going to say taking a look at Solana. Normally I go to the news, but there's no Layer GG news tonight for New Year's Eve, apparently. I don't blame you for taking the night off. I've got about 30 minutes left to spend with you because I've got to go bring in the new year with my better half. They say what you do on New Year's, you'll be doing all year long. So I'm going to be thanking Jesus for all the money that I've been making in crypto. And I don't know, we'll find some other just ways to make it positive tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good day. That's where we're starting out with my thumbnail. We're starting off on the positive note because the God candles will be coming in 2025. We should start seeing them sometime in this new month that we are starting here, for me in about 55 minutes. Get ready, folks. The good days, the happy days are a-coming. It may not feel like it now, and your portfolios may be taking a hit because them altcoins can't figure out what they want to do, and they have been lackluster, but it will turn around. Just know, as we've been talking, you might get, but you want some Bitcoin though. Don't fade Bitcoin. It will balance. It will keep your portfolio from dropping a lot, and this is Bitcoin season. All right, Bitcoin is going to do a lot better than most altcoins. And it's just going to be a fact of life. We got a chance at the last half of this section here. What we got going on? We're still in a good trade, but it's on my nerves. It's just but at the last, like about 10 months from now is when you want to start looking at your altcoins and saying, I need to seriously think about exiting. If you're going to go by time frames, about 10 months from now, somewhere around October, September, October, November next year. Yeah, you need to be saying, you being paid. You know, be saying, I want to wait for it to keep going. It can kill. I'm going to hold it for another 4 years. Don't be that guy. Good Lord, don't be that guy. All right, so I got a bunch of stuff here for Solana. Do I have a different chart for Solana? I just want to clear it off. I want fresh eyes. So the question was Solana for the next few hours, and then also for the hours to days. Well, I like to do this a little backwards because that gives us the best results. So Solana beneath the trend line. You can argue, you can trace this pattern. We got a high to a low here. We'll go from that one. We had this channel, kind of lost that. We can take this into consideration. It just broadens things out, and then we see that when we do that, connect the candle bodies. Well, it also respects these wicks and this angle. So we're in a broadening pattern to the downside. This is actually a bullish pattern. This is a megaphone pattern, and this little guy has a 70% chance to break to the upside, but there's something that it kind of does before it does break to the upside. It kind of gives you a hint when it's going to. I got my little cheat sheet over there. I don't know, you can take a snapshot or whatever. I throw that up every now and then for people that don't have the There are certain probabilities. I tested this by Thomas Zukowski. Likelihoods of things to happen. Certain patterns work better than others. If you look at the ones that have the best probabilities of being played and kind of worry about entering in on those and maybe avoiding the ones that don't play to the best probabilities, that's kind of ideas kind of help you out. Falling wedges, falling megaphones after they do certain things, they have a good probability of doing what they're supposed to do. First thing it needs to do is make a partial decline, and that's where it tends to go sideways. Now, it can fake you out. She went sideways over here for a while, didn't break out. We got a chance that we might be going sideways and doing a partial decline here. Partial decline means it doesn't come all the way back down to the bottom of the pattern anymore. It goes sideways and then starts making a U-turn. That's what we want to happen. Are there any other signs to say, yeah, that might be in the cards? And bottom trend line here. Also kind of hints that we might come down here and make our partial decline around that 200 moving average, and that makes perfect sense for that to happen. It just does. If we go lower, we could be coming back down there. On the plus side here on the daily, I gotta say, man, this 50 moving average is hanging around here about $220. And if we can get back above the 9, get back above this 100, it's not out of the question for that to happen. It's just we're looking at it on a red day, but it's been alternating red day, green days all through this range. And she could easily reclaim this area. We might find a few hints on lower time frames when we get down there. I'm looking at the 9 moving average, trying to figure out where it's hanging out. And it says it's hanging out at $191.66, and the 100 is at $191.53. So the 9 has already crossed bullishly on the daily. It's just hard to see. She round. You look closely with all this price action, and this is bullish. Yeah, I might not see this if you're just going to sit there and wait for it to go to the 21 moving average. You might miss all this. But you see all this price action, all these wicks here, and all these little short bodies. There's lots of buys, and there's lots of scared selling, looks like. But that 9 moving average, a lot better, prettier than what I'm drawing here, came below the 100, and now it has crossed back over it. That's bullish. It did a U-turn. But yet price is still below it and flirting with the downside. That's an interesting conundrum. So what will happen? Well, I mean, all this momentum is what brought it up. Now, one of two things. Either it's going to follow price as price continues down, or, it's a hint that we got some strength, and there might be enough strength for price to recover over this on the daily. Smaller time frame should help us out with that, but we got the hints here that, yeah, she can bounce back up, work toward this 21 moving average, which is at the top of these candles, about $200, and see if we can start doing some things there. It looks like we might have a bottoming pattern here as we go down the smaller time frames. So the bigger moving average, 200 and 150, and what we're seeing going on with this 9 doing that little U-turn, it may be a hint, this is not confirmed yet, that we could recover and get above that 100. If we do, we got a chance to get out of here, or at least come up a little bit before going down further, right? All right, so for the 4 hour, if we come down to it and start looking at this partial decline possibility here, and that's where we start getting into our tweezer bottoms here that we got, and we have not come back down here. Probably look a little bit better here. More impressive if we come to the regular candles and not my Hakanashi, but you see these? That is a bottom signal, and it's really good that even though it didn't stick and we didn't make a V-shaped recovery and go back to Bahala, we came back down, but we didn't come back down all the way. If you pull your Fibonacci from swing low to swing high, we should get into a real buy. You went below it, didn't you? Oh, you pesty. This 886 deep retracement. Look, a shoulder, head and a shoulder, and inverted head and shoulder at a bottom area, a bottom retracement area for a fib. That works. Probably looks more, it doesn't look sexier on my candles at all, does it? But we bounced from there. We came back up, but we couldn't get past it. So we're going sideways. We're just within a range. We got the first signs of this green Ichimoku cloud saying, baby, I got some designs for you later on tonight. She wanted to get funky. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling her right now. She wanted to get funky. That's not a 200 moving average. We are below the 200 moving average, so we need to do some stuff here. Some would see this as an Adam and Eve, which did not, it confirmed, but it did not break out. puts us into this little range or channel idea is how I would best interpret that. And just going sideways, but channels are meant to be broken out of, and you might even see this as another bottoming pattern. Qualifies a W of types. This one's got a good retracement down to the 786, and she's just consolidating under here. We're getting that partial decline, in my personal opinion, getting ready for a breakout. It doesn't look like it just yet, but my personal opinion, I think we're getting ready to do that. Watch us fall down to 0 tomorrow, and you say, "You suck, road dog." She's actually coming down here. The worst case scenario, if it doesn't play out, would be bottom of this trend line somewhere, which put a price label. Hey, price label, be a good place. 170. Let's look and see if we can come back up this $200 area and get above it. If I were going to pull out my fibs, which is what I normally do in this situation, because it looks like we got bobbing patterns, it's telling us we need to put our line right here at 196 and start looking at 209 and these areas about 230, 220, 230. Stair step it up to 245. This fib, these little levels on the fibs, this being the sweet spot. The target that's worth shooting for is $230 out of Solana. My personal opinion, come down to 15-minute just to kind of see on the smaller time frame, because that was kind of how it was phrased. The question was phrased. Going from hours, okay. We can look at the hour chart. 15-minute will help us figure out hours too. Just get a lot more noisy. I would look at the moving averages here. I guess I could pull up my other indicators too. They're on the downside, but that's not a problem. If they're on the downside and price is on the downside, then when they start flipping up, prices start flipping up. I mean, and if we're near a bottom, we might catch bottom here. That's what we're hoping for, right? I see no reason for that not to continue to be the hope. Other than this, oh God, give it to us hard. You do have a death cross on the 1 hour. I would not worry about all that. The moving average, they're consolidating, okay? You got a mixed match, but we need to see the 100 cross over that 200 eventually. It'll probably take a little time, and all the moving averages just flip over the 200. Price has got to do that. It's helpful if price does that first, but bouncing off here could be what we need to do that. Let us take a look at Phantom. How we doing, Phantom? I guess I need to clear my screen off and then come back to the chart, the chat there. Whoa, Phantom has been dumping right now. I got an area here, a support line. We need to zoom out so we can trend line. Is it a good trend line? A solid trend line? It's kind of at the extreme. Also a 200 moving average right down there. We should see a reaction here out of Phantom. It's at 66 cents, man. It gave up all the gains that it made. That was some good gains. That was 115% gains, and it came all the way back. That's crazy. You go up 110%. But if you bought that flag to the upside and so I'm going to get in at Phantom at $147, well, you've given the back half of that. Your $1,000 bag would be worth $500, and you'd probably be pissed off at Phantom. I would look for Phantom and catch support here. No guarantees, but that's the first place to look for it to happen. Great place to look for it to happen. Why is my nose itching? Indicators are starting to bottom out. Pardon me just 1 second. I don't like to scratch me nose. But ticky nose. Phantom, baby, you need to bounce here. You don't need to be coming down. If she does come down, we got our trend line hanging around 49.50 cents. But gosh darn it, you don't need to do that. You've already retested that area. See the inverted head and shoulder area at this bottom broke out. Has a great chance, 64% chance to retest. They often come back to where they break out. It eventually did. Looked like it never would, right? But it didn't. You should that should have satisfied. It should not have to come back down here. It looks like this is going to come back and retest these areas. Hopefully this trend line will hold. Come on. If not, maybe 62 cents. And if not 62, then we got to start looking at 49. But I think she can hold. Or God forbid, 35, 36 cents. That would be horrible. What kind of situation would that happen into? Let's pray that we don't encounter anything like that for altcoins, that altcoins do good for the month of January, and they should. Historically, we start seeing much better improvements. When I really zoom out here on Phantom and I start connecting these dots, I start seeing lots of hopium out there for Phantom. And so definitely see a situation where we get our 178 target there or higher. Let's hope higher. We need to start seeing some God candles out of these coins. We'll never get up to those previous all-time highs if we don't, right? Let's take a look at OEM Mantra Dow. Oh crap, that was supposed to be in the first one. That was my bad. I owe you an extra one, my friend. That was my squirrel brain. I had a member and a super chat, and that should have went to the front of the list, and technically it was, but I had scribbled on here, and I just saw Solana. So, Mr. Roguelide, please give me another coin to look over. I like to do what I say I'm going to do, and if I don't, well, I've got to make it up somehow. It just only seems right. Here we are, OM just going sideways, man. Could be a flag, could be a channel, could be a shoulder head and shoulder to the down. We can make, let's just take it for what it is. That's why we look for confirmations on patterns and not just jump out there and say, this one's got some of this and this and this, because that's just bad habits. It really is. It'll give you a bias. And sometimes these people are teaching it, they're not even applying the right rules for it. This was interesting. That was a nice little clearance through there, and it just keeps me. I think this is what we would call reaccumulation in Wyckoff theory. And don't see it as being distribution at all, especially if they're doing these little heartbeat patterns. They're trying to do something, trying to clear some stuff out. They want to down to 301. Now, might they do it again if we're doing some kind of Wyckoff accumulation? They might. That looks like it would be the spring, but if it was, we should have kept on going. They may come back down here and get us at 290 again, so it's not out of the question that could happen. It would be something like this, a big drop and then a bounce back, and it probably wouldn't be just for this altcoin. It would probably be for a bunch of them if that scenario happened, but otherwise, we're just ranging, and this is probably the best time to grab out this little tool here. And it does it perfectly. So we're at the point of control. We're making a little flag pattern here. I'm not against flag patterns. You just don't want to play them at resistance levels. We are at a resistance level, so we want to make sure that we bounce out of that one. And if we can get a breakout above this, well, maybe your flag would take off. Otherwise, it's going to just go the other way and come back down here to about 370, which looks like that's what she's trying to do. She can change her mind. So to play this little guy, you need to wait for confirmation. You need to wait for some candle bodies to open and close above a trend line like this if you want to play a flag pattern. These flag patterns are not something you just want to jump. You want confirmation on breakout. And so what's being taught down there is trying to entice people to get on the smaller time frames like 1 minute charts and chase some flags, and not even giving you when should you enter a pattern? That's not, you just find, I'm in, who's in with me? You see these kind of things being taught, and that's bad habits, man. Especially for newbies. Now, if you've been doing it for a while, I'm sure you're more comfortable with doing that things, but if you're teaching new people to come in, the rule of the game is, man, wait for a confirmation. You got to wait for a candle body close over here. Some people wait for 2 or 3 before they jump in. You want to make the rule of the game is you're taking a bet that this is an uptrend and that's going to keep going up. So you want, if you get confirmation of that, then you jump in and you watch numbers go in the green. You just jump in willy-nilly like a lot of the guys are doing, and I do too. You see me, but that's not what we should be teaching. We should, if we're going to have that bad habit, we can own it. We own that bad habit and take repercussions. But if we're out here trying to teach people how to do this and do it the right ways with the proper habits and proper risk managements, you're failing if you say when we do this thing and without explaining it. We're failing at our jobs here. So, and this one does not look like it's playing out at the moment. So if you're jumping in, you might be saying, oh, it's a Bart Simpson. And whatever influencer is saying that, flag to the upside, those are They slammed us down. You know, like, oh, you probably should have saw that bearish divergence over here, and look, it had a little bit of a shoulder, head and shoulder, and you're like, well, why weren't you talking about this when you're talking about a flag to the upside? Or why are you seeing more? Why are you seeing more signs to the downside after the effect rather than seeing the signs to the downside before the effect? One of those signs being, hey man, you had a point of resistance. I'm just saying. Swing high, the swing low. You're at a 113 and just shy of a 127. There needs to be some kind of. That's a risky place to flag out. I'm just saying. Don't mean that it can't go higher, but there's signs saying it probably ain't happening. And you know, probably what would be told is, well, you need to wait the price, it'll flag out and bounce off that 21 moving average. It might bounce off of it. It might also just go right the freak through it. Now, I got a 5 moving average strategy. I don't just rely on a 21 and 200. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I have programmed a mini of my bot with those same strategies. I learned bots before I ever learned how to draw on charts. I did it bass backwards, but I still got some good bot training on some of how these indicators and signals work. Okay, so we're losing the non-moving average there. We could just drop right through there. There's the indications here with my other moving average saying, yeah, you lose that 21, we're coming back to this 50 area. I know there's a 200 there that might catch us, but we're really kind of targeting this 50 because that's just... I teach the price follows in sequential order. You often see them respect that sequential order in these moving averages. So it might just be a wick, but she's probably more than likely going to touch that 50, and she'll figure out what she's going to do above this 200 afterward. So that's what it's. If we lose this 21, we can bounce off of it, and the flag pattern could still play out. But we're losing the 9, and it's not looking as likely anymore. Here we go to a 15-minute, and the Ichimoku cloud said, yeah, I'm ready to eat you up and just drag you down here, baby. Got some little red over here, the opposite of what we really want to see right now, but okay. This one is telling me we have given up the ghost on the 50 and the 9 and the 21 on the 15, and we should be coming down a little further, losing what our local pattern would be right here. However you want to interpret that, as a descending triangle, a falling wedgie, or a flag to the upside. Look, shoulder, head and shoulder, which I do not consider that. That is actually a triple top pattern. When they look like this and you got a little head buried beneath a big ass shoulder and another big ass shoulder, kind of look like, I don't know what's going on. That's how it's, or something like that. But that's just getting specific. You're just getting technical now. You're just getting picky. But I mean, if you want to know the truth, I mean, really, try that triple bottom or triple top and triple bottom. They look like that, and they tend to be kind of brutal. Oh my gosh, I'm not telling you what you want to hear tonight, so I'm kind of looking for 360 to be probably on the table there. If we're going to go by the moving averages and patterns. Although if she breaks to the upside, I can give you that big ass target. 618 looks like we put that at that 200 moving average, right? I don't know if we'll come back to the 618. We might. You've got some good, you could get some support here. So for this flag idea, here's another thing that I would put, because I mean, look, it's also got, look, here's the danger that you get in with some of the people I've been seeing on YouTube, because they're saying, look, a shoulder, head, and shoulder to the downside. But they'll also come back and say, and that's crazy. This is crazy. This is so crazy. Have you ever seen them do this? Look, a shoulder, a head, working on all we need is a shoulder on the upside. So what the hell are we looking at? Is it shoulder, head, and shoulders, or upside, downside? This is what people. This is what is being taught out here on YouTube right now. You got a top pattern. Well, this inverted head and shoulder idea, that's a bottom pattern, and this is not a bottom. Don't look for that. even if you got results where we broke out to the upside. If you're looking for bottom patterns up here, you're going to be disappointed more often than not. Okay, so it's looking at this areas of resistance here that we might get a little bit of a pullback. Maybe. Is it going to be as bad as 361 for OEM? Why are you taking so long? I am spending a lot of time here, aren't I? Here's another idea we can look at. We're on some trend lines. Area of resistance. So if your flag is happening under resistance, you can play them. Isn't it better if your flag is bumping up above resistance? A little bit of a better chance if it happens above there, although they can still come back in and this whole thing be a bear trap. So what I'll say about flags is that, after you start a trend, like this would be the trend starting, right? So after you start a trend, you'll get some flags. You can definitely play them as flags because this would be a flag, broke to the upside. You might even convince yourself that this is, although it's very elongated. Some people would disagree with you, but still, maybe you see it that way. But if early on in a trend, you can get by with these, and you can even mess it up because I wouldn't pay this as a flag. But if you did, and it worked out for you, there's no way you would ever believe any different. It's like, but it went to the upside. Okay. Okay. But they're more likely to work out for you when they start out. It's when they get established and do the flags. Well, you can only chase flags so long. That last one, it's the one that's going to bite you. All right, so Dow theory, if this is a strong move, it's saying about 367. We could find some support there. I'd be looking at, it's going to be tricky. This 382, for where we are in the market, I would first start looking at your 382 Fibonacci's from your pulls and seeing how price reacts there, because if it does drop down here and we start leveling off, we might get a very strong move from there. So I'm encouraging everybody, if you're pulling fibs, pay attention to your 382s. Treat it like you used to treat your 618s. I mean, don't preemptively move on it, but always watch there for your first possible strong move to come from your 382s. You could probably say that about the 2-3. It's not as often that they hold, though. It looks like they hold at first, but then they usually end up giving it up and the price drops. I'm just saying, that's just usually how it is. Until that one day, you're like, I'm waiting for it to drop, and it took off without me. That'll be a good day, though, to chase. That will probably be the one day you want to chase. But OM, I do like this play. I've got this one. We're on the 15-minute time frame trying to get some smaller targets. This one can do some good stuff. When you zoom out, it does look like we're in a reaccumulation. Maybe a little bit of a distribution. We've got range here that we can play in. It is, we're at the top of this pattern. That's crazy. Real world asset play, I like it. I think they can do a lot more than $3 where it's at. Even if she does come back down on some big drop in the market or something like that, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's got good signs. Look at this on the daily here. MACD is starting to show the signs like she's getting ready to flip and go to the upside. So that's what I'm saying. Watch that 382 Fibonacci here if we do drop, because MACD's looking good on the daily, saying I'm getting ready to do something here. And I think this one, OM, what was the deal with it? The tokenomics on it. OM. Oh my gosh. It's got a $3.65 billion market cap right now. There's a 1.8 total supply. Maximum supply, they got infinity, so there's might be something on tokenomics that we need that would probably affect it later on, especially release schedule. I don't know. We have to look into that. I can't remember all the stuff off the top of my head, but total supply, and half of that's out. We got 958 million of them out, and we're sitting at 381. Man, this can 10x from here over the next 10 months. I fully believe that. We could see this up at around $40. It's possible. Real world asset play could even do better than that if it really takes off in that narrative. And this is one that I've actually chosen to be one of my major real world asset plays here. It's mantraed out. So I do appreciate you for requesting that one. I think it's worth looking at. This is where we're headed. Because everything will start to be tokenized. It's just the easiest way to do things in this digital economy, in this digital world that we're global, hopefully decentralized global economy. We need a decentralized global economy, not one that's so centralized in governments, and we don't need any centralized world governments. We need a decentralized world government system, and we can do that. We can have our sovereign nations that respect each other. We don't even have to, I don't even think we need to fight anything through wars. Wars getting to be should be starting to get outdated. Old school. I mean, yeah, economic warfare, I think, would be the new warfare. It seems to be pretty damn effective. They said they were going to get us through the economy. That's what China said a long time ago. By gosh, they done a damn good job. OM, looking here on the daily, man, that looks sweet with that candle. You see that big candle here? You got a breakout here on the daily. Look at that. That is a nice clear blank breakout. I know we were just talking about the possibility of it coming down, and that's because we got some resistance here on the daily at 21. If she does, it'd just be a pullback. It looks like she's getting ready to do something for real. I like the daily. Daily rules anything that I saw in the smaller time frame. Daily is saying I'm getting ready to take off. And I'd say we're probably going to see some of that in some other altcoins. Ladies and gentlemen, it is getting about time for me to go, but I'm thinking about coming back a little later tonight. Let me come back to the chat here because I know my wife's going to be, it's 11:34. It's time for me to head upstairs, but I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I will probably come back and do a late night stream just because I like doing this, and see if I can come up with a list, or you guys can come up with a list. Echelon Show, this is the third live I caught from yours, and we're definitely on point. And you were definitely on point last time. Well, thank you very much. I try to be. Doesn't mean I'm always going to be. I'm not out here for the validation of trying to always be right, even though we will make fun of it. I will do the little nailed it things. I'm trying to drive home that, fibs work. Just trying to show where it works for me. And if it resonates with you, hopefully you can use it and change your life for the better. Oh, hello? There's someone. Yeah, sometimes I do get on that topic. Right, I'm trying not to as much, but he makes some good content. I'm telling you. I mean, I am going to. I'm just presenting now. I think I feel better presenting in a way. It's just there are people that are out here teaching that, and if he happens to be teaching what, I'm just calling out bad behaviors. But in the student charts area, I mean, I point out the things that could be done better. I mean, what we got something going on here. I mean, we're cool, but we're playing it both ways. We're playing both sides of the fence here. First, we're starting out this, and then when candles start going red, then we start finding other reasons. Oh, it's really an M. Oh, we got kind of an M going on here. Well, which is it? If you got some technical analysis, unless you're zooming in on small time frames and getting caught up in all the wishy-washy noise, which is what's happening here, you should be able to zoom out and get a good idea of how things are going to go for that day. It's something. I mean, we'd always be surprised and be wrong, but when we zoom out, we get better information, and it does. I mean, if there's a flopper and a groper, that's a good example in my personal opinion. But I hate to be mean, but I'm just, when we call out things, but it keeps changing every day and every few minutes there. It's a new target, a new idea, a new this, a new that. And I'm like, well, how the hell is anybody going to follow you? You need a system that you can rely on. And there are other good YouTubers out there. Here's Alex O. I like what he does. I see some overlap with some of the things that I do. And he uses Market Cipher there too, other indicators. But you get, and I think Alex comes on before that, and shout out to Jason Casper, because what Liver's trying to do is on that live trading scalping thing, and I'm telling you, I mean, Jason and Frankie Candles too, they both have some really good systems, and using the tool that we were using, or the range tool, they do really good for that's their niche, is scalping. And he shows the results that he does. Now, some of these trades he's had for a while, and some of them he does. I mean, he shows you, but he gets great entries to hold for longer term. He's not selling at the first red candle and just, get my $20 in. And I can see that. But when you're risking $2,000 to make $20 or $40 or $50, it's it's kind of silly to expect. Oh, you're a newcomer to this market. Well, all you got to do is all that. Oh, you finally saved up $2,000, and okay. Well, let's just put it all on this 1 minute trade so you can make $20. It's not the good trade off. That's kind of the message that's coming across. So, but there are other people that are showing better ways and everything. And Joe here, Joe, I don't have his thing pulled up. Trade Intuition, go check him out. Showing how just to try to get better practices and traditional, just solid things, solid ideas, and try to risk management. You will find, I mean, they try to make it like, oh, once you learn TA, it's everything. TA is going to change it. And that's what I thought too, because that's what they sold me on. It's like, you need to learn TA. And I'm like, okay, which was great. It's part of it. It's part of the secret. But once you do TA, and then you start getting into the trading and the investing, and then you realize, oh, hell, it's not just it's psychology. The TA helps you with the psychology. Okay. And then it comes to strategy. Oh, now we can use the TA to develop a strategy with what we see here and to help us with the psychology. But the real thing that I really think above that, and psychology plays into it, is your risk management. And a lot of your other people will tell you that too. I mean, you start that seems to be the real thing. And part of that risk management is not to take shitty trades or to know when a trade is probably not in your best interest, and knowing when to zoom out and just use some common sense there to manage that risk. And so risking a $2,000 trade just to jump out when you're $50 in profit, or maybe you got lucky and made $100 on it, that's still some shitty risk. You shouldn't be looking for that. You should be looking, if you got a $2,000 trade, I mean, you're actually putting up $2,000 of your money for this trade. Using like 20x, this trade is actually something, it's like if you almost bought like 1.5 Bitcoin and you sold it when it went up, when you made $40 on it. Think about that. That's, I mean, some people scalping resonates with them. It does not resonate with me at all. Not in that sense of jumping just in and out for just nickels and dimes. That's just because you're having to put up hundreds or thousands of dollars to make those nickels and dimes when you're playing it that way with leverage on small time frames. When you could just take a zoom out a little bit, use less money, and get a bigger return. I don't know, just my thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta check out of here, but I will be back probably, I don't know, some 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. I gotta go up and kiss the wife Happy New Year's, and so we can get started out to a bright Happy New Year. Like we all should do that. Remember, what you do on New Year's Day is what you're gonna be doing all year, and I intend for it to be making gains, baby. This is the year of the gains. Let's see if we can do that. If I missed any super chats or anything, come back on the next stream. We will, or missed any requests, we'll try to get them there. But the wife, she's going to be calling in a minute. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Thanks for hanging out, and Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Sean? Get away from my wife, Sean.
Come on, come here, bud. Come on.
Well, she's getting lonely. I was just talking to her. We're just friends.
I don't need to analyze every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like
That would be good.
You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
You was star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime,
See you in a little bit, guys.
hot